just talking about Brazilian waxes. And how, you know, who can see what's back there? Is there so much hair back there that other people can see it? Is it pushing up against your clothes? And it's, oh my God, you gotta get that little afro out of there. Why are you doing? I don't know. You know, just months after football's Deflategate, there's a new sports scandal. It's happening in baseball. The St. Louis Cardinals are being investigated by the FBI for hacking into the Houston Astros database. But seriously?
Yeah,
I mean, what the hell?
Well,
I mean, it's a bigger problem.
Yeah, and the report, the allegation is that some of the players knew the passwords for the Astros system, so they got on their own system and used passwords that they
The reason
knew.
why they
not players, but the management.
The front office. It's the front office that they're looking at, and it's because Jeff Lonow, the Astros general manager, he used to work for the Cardinals from 2003 and 2011. And they said that this was a vengeable act against him, and that's why they did know his
But everybody's getting hacked. You were talking about getting hacked yesterday.
I have Anthem health insurance, and when the Anthem hack happened, we were getting letters saying, hey, people are going to use your information to go to the doctor. I'm like, what do I have? Like, what are they going to the doctor for? You know, you can get bills for thousands for an operation that you never got. I mean, it's crazy, actually.
The White House was just hacked. I got a note saying that my personnel information from my 8 years there was maybe hacked into. So, yeah, I think everyone is susceptible to it, and you have to do those things where you check on your own credit because anyone can
On a smaller level, they do have really good security systems, smaller level than this, obviously, but for your phone, and I heard there's a new one where not only do you have to put in a password, and if you forget your password, you can tie up to 5 people that know you that will be called to say and identify this is who's logging into your phone.
My
this
friends
is
would
who it
not
is.
vouch for me. They'd be like, that ain't her. That is not her.
I'm sorry. I know I'm an old person. I don't mind that my stuff is in some old person's place where they have to pull out the thing and look it up, because I know nobody's going to get my stuff, okay? I'm tired of people from God knows where getting into my business because my business is in a cloud. The cloud. I'm tired of it. I want, you know, store my stuff. I'm sorry, because if your stuff is stored somewhere, if there's a hard copy of it somewhere, then at least you know what you got. But now it's all there. None of us know what's up there.
And we're trying to help the environment?
Yes. In the
well,
21st...
you know what? The environment is great. I adore the environment.
Yeah, but it's the 21st century, and we should have a way to stop the hacking, and we don't.
But they don't.
Goes back to education.
Well,
coding needs to be a priority in our education system.
Absolutely. But what does that do? What do we do right now? I know all the stuff we need to do. I'm not, listen, I bought 4 clouds, they still got in one. They know how to get in the cloud, but it's harder to get into that locked thing.
Yeah, but listen, do you ever remember where it is? I mean, my problem is I'd lock it somewhere and I would never remember where.
No, it's with the people, with the grown-ups. You give it to the grown-ups. Listen, we'll be right back with the fabulous Mindy Kaling.
Why did her new animated blockbuster have her in tears? Is her dating life as wild as her show, The Mindy Project? Get to know Mindy Kaling inside out next.
Maybe your acne isn't just acne, it's stubborn acne. New Neutrogena Rapid Clear Stubborn Acne Cleanser with maximum strength benzoyl peroxide. Clinically proven to reduce size and redness of stubborn acne in 1 day. New Neutrogena Rapid Clear for stubborn acne. See real stories and real results at rapidclearresults.com.
There's parallel parking. Or there's parking that's unparalleled. And 2 miles per gallon difference may not seem like much until you have to walk it. One drive and you'll decide.
Why women in comedy rule right now. And her inner child has veto power over the menu in the new Disney Pixar movie Inside Out. Take a look.
Here we go. All right, open.
This looks new.
Think it's safe?
What is it? Okay, caution. There is a dangerous smell, people. Hold on, what is that?
This is disgust. She basically keeps Riley from being poisoned.
physically and socially.
That is not brightly colored or shaped like a dinosaur. Hold on, guys. It's broccoli! Yucky! Well, I just saved our lives. Yeah, you're welcome.
Please welcome Mindy Kaling.
I'm on a stool.
Well, better to be on one than have one.
Guys, when I'm at this situation, I'm like, have I ever crossed my legs in my life? It's very difficult to be ladylike on a stool.
Don't do it.
Don't do it? Okay.
Don't do it.
All right, I'm just not going to.
Hey, there are people that will keep an eye on everything for you. I have this problem, too, on a stool, so you look perfect.
Yeah.
And
no one needs to see what's underneath this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You look perfect.
Thanks, guys.
You're perfectly perched.
Yes. I'm sure that was your own character talking to you in your head about your legs, because you played Disgust in this movie, and I saw it. It's absolutely hilarious.
Thank you.
I love this movie. I know I have multiple of yous in my head. So the movie is about the 11-year-old girl who has to learn how to be happy, which is refreshing to you. Why?
I just like that this is a big summer movie, but that Pixar thought that instead of having a young girl be a princess who needs to find an amulet or a map or something like that, the movie's just about a girl who's trying to be happy. And that was, I think, really sophisticated, which, I mean, obviously I would do any movie that Pixar wanted to do, but I thought that was so cool. And that it's basically a young woman is the star of a summer blockbuster movie. It's cool.
And she's normal. She was just down to earth and cool, and she goes through things that, I mean, even grown-ups go through. I loved it, too.
Yeah, she just has to try to be happy, and it's like, I don't know, I thought that was really cool.
I agree with you, and it was very profound, and it certainly doesn't end in childhood. But I love the scene that we showed. I have a 3.5-year-old who has a very strong Disgust character in his head, because that resembled mealtime at our house. But I told you backstage, I cried through much of this movie, and you had an emotional reaction when you heard about the story.
Yeah, I went up to Pixar after I'd been cast, and they, the movie's so personal for the director. Pt.2 made it because of his daughter, who's 11 years old, who he was feeling was a little bit more private than she used to be when she was younger, and so he wrote it because he thought that was a very mysterious time for his daughter, and it's something about that just made his love, this father's love for figuring out why he was growing distant, just made me cry. It's a very funny movie, too.
Oh, it's hilarious.
We're describing it like
but that's a good point. I mean, tell everyone what the movie's about. We're focused on the pain, but it actually is such a fun ride.
It's about a little girl named Riley who moves from Minnesota to San Francisco at a time when it's the worst time to move. She's 11 years old. She has all of her best friends. And we play all of the emotions in her head. We're trying to figure out what's going on with her, because up until that time, she'd been a really happy little girl. So
I loved it.
I want to ask you, is animation something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, you hear about animation and you're like, oh, I can show up in my pajamas and just say things and get paid, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is the greatest scam on earth. How do I get in on this is what I thought. And then the fact that it was Pixar, which, I mean, Pt.2, who did the movie Up, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but is so beautiful. And, like, there's some people, like, yeah, it's gorgeous. Like, a Pixar movie, the Coen brothers, Alexander Payne, like, now it's Ava DuVernay, but, like, people like that, you're like, I will do whatever you want to do. And I felt like it was a little bit of a no-brainer.
Well, I want to talk about the Mindy Project.
I would love to. Yes.
It's a genius show. You wrote, produced, and starred in it, but it's not here for the 3rd season, but the 4th season is going to Hulu?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Who's excited?
It is exciting.
Are you excited because now, Hulu and things of that nature, you can do whatever you want? Are you, like, going wild now?
I get asked this question, and what's great about Hulu is they're giving us a lot of flexibility to do what we'd like in the show, but I don't know, like, we pushed the envelope pretty much already as it is. We've done some stuff that, like, I can't believe we got away with it. So I think, there are 13 and 14-year-old girls watching it. I don't want them to feel weird about watching it on Hulu, seeing some stuff that they're a little, weirded out by. But I think it's going to be, we're still going to have the great, awesome guest stars that we've had. I think we'll just have a little bit more time. The show doesn't have to be, like, 21 minutes. It can be a little bit longer now.
Cool.
And you're on the cover of In Style magazine.
I'm really accomplished.
And you look hot, hot, hot. Was there anything unexpectedly bizarre about being a cover model?
Well, I think when I was on the cover of this magazine, I think people were excited because I don't look like a lot of women who tend to be on the covers of magazines. I'm not like a little stick. Wait, what are you saying? I'm not a tall blonde woman.
I think you look better.
Oh my God, that skin is flawless right now.
I totally did not know that.
Thank you guys. But what happens is they're like, a lot of times when you are not, super skinny and you're on a cover of a magazine and things like that, the idea is like, oh, we'll just let her be like, we're gonna get credit for having someone be like really natural and real. But I'm like everyone else, where I'm like, you can Photoshop me as much as you want. I was like, you can like take me if you want. Wait, girl, I learned how to do Photoshop myself so I can Photoshop my own pictures and then give them to people. You have to give me a tutorial afterwards. Oh, I know how to tuck and suck everything on Photoshop. Okay, excellent. Excellent.
I can't wait to read your second book. You've got another book coming out.
Yeah, I do, in September. That'll be good. Thanks. Thank you so much for coming on right now. I'm so excited to see the Mindy Project on Hulu, and you guys, you have to see this movie. Inside Out is wonderful. Our thanks to Mindy. Disney's Pixar's Inside Out opens in theaters this Friday. We'll be right back.
The Real Story on Fox News, but you will not believe her story, which she shares in her new memoir, Getting Real. Please welcome Gtretchen Carlson. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back here on The View.
Well, we're very happy to have you here. And I have to just start with Donald Trump, because you've known him for a couple of decades, right?
I have.
What do you think?
Well, I think that it's a courageous move on his part. Oh, look at the picture. Woo!
Wow. So this is you and Trump when you were
competing at Miss America.
Okay.
Yep. It's almost, well, it's 27 years ago. That picture.
Okay, I hate you a little bit because you look exactly the same. You have that picture back?
So does his hair, so it's all great.
Yeah. You've aged better than he has.
Yeah, well, I think it's an interesting decision on his part.
Right.
I don't think he could have had the press conference yesterday and then not announced that he was running, because it would have been another stunt. The one thing he has to overcome is that he has some of the highest negatives in the polling right now. And maybe that's because people didn't think he was actually going to become a candidate. So that could change now. I think it will be very interesting to look at the polling as we move forward in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on him.
Yes, yes.
I want to get into your story because I've watched you for years. I've been on some Fox and Friends with you, but I didn't know about your insane talent as a violinist. You were, at 6 years old, a child prodigy. You went to Stanford. I mean, tell us about your life story, the stuff that people don't know just from seeing you on television.
Right. So I grew up in a small town in Minnesota, and I started playing the violin, and it just clicked. And I started practicing, 3 and 4 hours a day, and I played for Isaac Stern and a lot of, really famous artists, and did a ton of competitions. And then when I got to age 17, I burned out. Sometimes you read about that with children who dedicate their life to one thing. Parents were devastated.
Sure.
Really wanted me to find another goal to use that talent. Right. My mom got a brochure in the mail on the Miss America pageant. She called me up at Stanford, and she said, I think I found something for you to try. And I said, no way. I had grown up a chubby kid and struggled with that. And I had never really watched any pageants.
You know what's very funny? Because I was also a chubby kid who also played violin for 10 years.
Wow.
And I also, let's call it burned out, but I never played for Isaac Stern. I would play like for company when they came over for dinner. And my mother never made me, my mother sent me diet pills, but I was never Miss America. Let's just put it there.
Well, let's just say, though, that my book is inspirational for all young people, middle-aged and old women and men who have ever struggled with their weight.
Yeah.
Because eventually I lost 35 pounds.
How'd you do it?
I just went on a diet. Here's the thing, my favorite activity still is to eat.
It's so easy.
But even one of my judges wrote a scathing book about me the year later and still called me fat on stage at 108 pounds, the thinnest I've ever been. He also called me Miss Piggy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And a God clutcher, just for good measure. So, you know, it really taught me the experience of how when you get exposure in life like that you need to develop really thick skin to take on your critics. And I say now that I reached the bimbo trifecta when I got to Fox News in a joking way.
Explain that.
Well, so I'm natural blonde, you know, former Miss America with tough skin. And now I'm a Fox News host. And as we all know, I take a lot of criticism from day to day on just working there. So what I say in the book is, look, when people don't want to debate you on the smart issues, it's sometimes just easier to call you a dumb blonde from Fox.
True.
Yeah. Well, you know, before Fox, you got into TV on a whim because you always wanted to be a lawyer, correct?
Correct.
Right, yeah. And then, but you got sucked into it, and you joked that your career started by peeing on a stick.
Yes, because at my first job, you know, you had to be drug tested. Right. And they didn't really warn me about it.
Was
so
it McDonald's? No, I'm joking.
No.
They do that there, just so you guys
I would have liked the big breakfast there, though.
Right. Big Mac discount.
Yeah, but anyway, that's how I got my first job in Richmond, Virginia. I had taken my law school tests, though, and I knew that the LSATs were good for 5 years in case the TV gig didn't work out. But it's still one of my dreams. It's one of the things in my book on my bucket list. Maybe I will eventually go to law school.
So now, in Richmond and Virginia, let me, I just want to, because this I thought was really just incredible. You talk about a very scary experience that you endured there, and tell everyone what happened, because I've experienced it as well.
It's the first time I've ever shared this story in my book, that for 4 years I had a life-threatening stalker. He followed me to Richmond. He followed me to Cincinnati. He stalked my parents. And I knew I should tell about it in the book because I want to help other women, because usually the victims nobody cares about until they're dead. And I felt comfortable to talk about it for the first time because I found out that he's no longer with us.
Wow.
So I could share the story. And for all the women out there who've gone through anything like this or through domestic violence, I understand your pain and your struggle.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that story. Thanks for being here. You have to come back.
Thank you so much.
Having you. Our thanks to Gtretchen Carlson. Members of our audience are going home with a copy of Gretchen's great new book, which is available in stores now, and we will be right back. Thank you.
Celebrity chef Mahit Chauhan. She's one of 200 chefs taking part in the James Beard Foundation's Better Burger Project, which challenges them to create a better burger. They all must use the same secret ingredient, and Mahit is going to reveal the secret to us now. And the suspense is killing us. Drum roll, please. All right.
And the secret ingredient is mushroom. Finely chopped, fresh cultivated mushrooms in my burgers to make it more delicious and nutritious.
Wow. Well, tell people at home how they can get involved in the Better Burger Project.
All you have to do is find a participating restaurant at betterburgerproject.org.
Right.
Then vote by taking a picture of the burger and posting it on Instagram. Hashtag Better Burger Project.
I like that.
And don't forget to tag the chef or the restaurant.
Oh, very nice. Thanks, Mahit. Now, you know, just so you all can make a better burger here, we're giving members of our studio audience a chef's apron to take home. Oh, and by the way, you're all getting a food processor as well. Thank you, Michelle Collins. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for coming. Take a little time to enjoy the view.